time for Have Faith. And this is where we talk to someone in our community about their faith and how it influences their day-to-day life. And for this Mental Health Month, we've been reflecting on some of our shows, the great work being carried out here in the region to improve the lives of people struggling with low mood, anxiety and other life challenges. My Have Faith guest this morning, Georgia Mutton, is playing her part in making a difference, working with children as a wellbeing practitioner for YMCA in Exeter, as well as also having served as a youth pastor. Georgia, welcome to Have Faith for Sunday morning. How are you? Where do we find you this morning?
Hiya. Thank you for having me. You find me on my sofa in my home.
Okay.
In sunny Devon.
Oh, beautiful stuff. And it is sunny. How are you enjoying the weather this weekend, Georgia?
Oh, it's been glorious. I have literally spent yesterday sat on a bench reading a book all day, and it was beautiful.
Make sure you rub that cream out. We must mention that as well, because it's easy to forget, especially the very beginning of the season. If you don't rub it in, I got a bit pink in the cheeks on Friday when I went to the Devon County show, so it can catch you. Georgia, tell us your story. Let's go back a few years and start on Have Faith today with your studies at Falmouth. What were you studying?
Yeah, so I studied marine and natural history photography down in Falmouth University, which was amazing. And then from there, I then ended up doing 3 summers in Northern Cyprus working on a turtle conservation project, which was amazing and absolutely incredible to work alongside turtles and see little hatchlings coming up in the summer.
Oh my word, fantastic.
Yeah.
And of course, the waters around there as well. Having been to Cyprus, albeit over 20 years ago, it's a beautiful part of the world, isn't it?
Oh, it's absolutely stunning. You can't even just trying to describe it is so hard. The clear waters and the beautiful beaches. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. So you dive as well, Georgia?
Yes. A part of my course, I got to learn the module for underwater was kind of a choice. You could do it or you didn't have to do it, but I thought, no, absolutely, I'm doing that. So I learned to do open water diving, and then I ended up actually becoming a rescue diver as well back then. But I haven't done that for years now. I do miss it.
Do you? Yeah,
No.
You could turn your hand to it quite. I must ask you, Georgia, just from a personal note, because my daughter in a couple of weeks' time is off abroad to learn to dive for the first time, and she's never done it before. Now I know.
Amazing.
Oh well, Alice, bless her, she turns around. She's nearly 22. She said, "Dad, I'm nearly 22. Stop worrying." But as a parent, I'm thinking, oh my word, she's going the other side of the planet to learn how to dive in open water. Georgia, just reassure me that she's going to be all right, will you, please?
She will absolutely be okay. Yeah, they are all exceptional instructors all over the world. It was something I actually wondered whether to do at one point, like to work my way up to be an instructor and go abroad and do it. Because why not? Hot water would be much nicer than Devon and Cornwall's cold water. But she'll be absolutely fine. It's an incredible experience, and I really recommend it for so many people.
Thank
Most
you very
of the water's
much.
Underworld.
Yeah, well, there you go. Mind you, it was funny because she had to buy a wetsuit, and so we went into one of our local wetsuit places a few weeks ago to get one measured up. And I was thinking, oh, she's going to warm waters then. She's going to need short legs, short arms, and something really thin. Apparently not, because I said to Alice, what sort of thickness wetsuit are you going to need? Something really thin. She said, Dad, I'm going to be diving down 20 metres. And just her saying those words made me shudder at that moment.
Yeah,
but
I can tell you it's definitely cold 20, 30 metres down underwater.
Thanks so much. Well, we've got her the right wetsuit. That's the main thing. And it's a full-length one. Anyway, Georgia, it's not about me. Let's get back to you. Because I know your Christian faith has guided you at key points in your life. Tell me a bit more about those key moments.
Yeah, so actually after university, I did one final summer in Cyprus, and then I decided to go to YWAM, which is Youth with a Mission. And that was, I actually went out to Kona, Hawaii for that. And it's like a discipleship training school where you kind of dig deeper into your faith during those 12 weeks. And then you go on missions for 2 months, where I went to South Africa and Zambia. And actually, it was during that time that someone gave me a prophetic picture, and they kind of said to me they saw like these children sat in the darkness either side of me, kind of like in a row. And as I began to walk through that row, like light bulbs were kind of turning on over their heads. And I remember thinking at the time, like, oh, that's cool, but I'm really passionate about women's ministry, you know, like really passionate about working with vulnerable women, thinking, no, I'm not going to work with kids. And then lo and behold, COVID hits, and I couldn't do another summer in Cyprus. And actually in that time, a job had arrived at my local church, and it was a youth pastor role. And I just suddenly had this like itching feeling that that's what I needed to do. And so I kind of applied for it, and then ended up becoming the youth pastor for 3 years at my church at St. Matt's in Exeter. And it was an absolutely incredible job, and I loved it. And working within a church was an amazing experience. But then unfortunately my job became redundant. And I kind of was left in a bit of a crisis, because I thought, well, I'm not really qualified to do much else. I've done an underwater photography degree. Yeah. I've worked as a youth pastor for 3 years. What else am I going to do? And I reflected and realised that what I really wanted to do was to walk alongside young people and be more equipped to do so. And so I kind of took myself off to do a introduction to counselling skills course. And actually, whilst I was there, a job application came out for the children's wellbeing practitioner role, which is in low intensity cognitive behavioural therapy. And I thought, was this a similar vibe kind of with the counselling skills? And I thought, I'll give it a go, I'll apply. And I got the job at the YMCA Exeter. Amazing. And I've been there for 2.5 years now, and it's incredible. And I'm kind of walking out that word that I got given. And actually what's mad is one of the young people that I worked with, they had generalized anxiety, and they were really, really struggling with kind of being able to just go with the flow and not have to make plans and know the answers to everything. And I worked with this young person for about 8 weeks, and at the end of the support, he drew me a picture, and he drew me a picture of a lighthouse, and he wrote the words, "You are the light in the darkness," which I didn't twig at first. And then I suddenly remember a couple of weeks later, and I said to my husband, I was like, oh my goodness, I had a word that was literally that, like 8 years ago when I was in YWAM. And it just kind of really shook me, because I'm like, gosh, I'm exactly where God's put me and where he wanted me to be, which is just mad.
That's incredible. And after all that time as well.
I know, yeah. It's just definitely telling me this is what I'm meant to be doing.
Yeah.
And it's, a real lovely consolation.
Feels right.
Yeah,
Georgia,
definitely.
For the last hour on the Sunday Breakfast Show, I have been, for want of a better word, raving about your song choice on Have Faith Today. And I, as listeners have been joining us on the show, I've just been saying, keep listening, because your choice of song, I hadn't heard before. I'm well aware of the artist, but not the song. And when I was checking the details yesterday, ready for the show this morning, I saw your choice of song, and I thought I must go and listen to that. And I have to say, I was just so uplifted by the production on it, the sound on it, I'm kind of slightly musical, so I'm always focused on the kind of chord progression in a chorus. And sorry, that sounds so muso, but it's true. If you get the right series of chords, it can just give you such a positive feeling. And I'll stop rambling about it now. You tell me about it. It's by Ray, and it's a song called Joy. And tell me why you've chosen this.
Yeah, I absolutely love Ray, and this is obviously on her newest album. And I think I was listening to the lyrics, and there's so much of it that actually relates to a lot of the biblical verses. There's like a verse, I may cry through the night, but joy comes in the morning. Yeah. And that kind of really, I love that the behind the story, you're kind of hearing like faith, kind of elements of faith coming through. But there's a particular lyric that says, there's a war in your mind, your sorrows may endure, but the light comes with the morning is what you're made for. And I just thought that was so powerful. And so this song not only brings you joy, like you said, there's good chord progressions, there's a good tune to it, but there's also just really powerful lyrics that are just really uplifting. And I think that's exactly what we need to all remember, that light comes with the morning, and sorrows may last a short while, but joy will come.